Good morning, everyone! I'm contestant number 17, and today I'm so excited to share with you how I found my own voice. Hello, everyone. My name is... That's how I used to speak when I was younger. Since I was little, words never came easily. I struggled with stuttering, and to finish even one sentence, I had to take a big breath, plan every word, and just hope it came out right. And speaking in front of the class, that was the worst. My fingers would clench, my cheeks would burn, and all I could think was, please, just let this be over. That fear stayed with me for a long time. And it made me believe that maybe I just wasn't good enough. Then one day, something surprising happened. My fourth grade teacher quietly walked up to me, tapped me on the shoulder, and asked with a gentle smile, "Would you like to join the storytelling competition?" I froze. Me? The kid who stutters? Why me? But then she looked me in the eye and said, "Because I believe that you have the potential to do it." Her words surprised me, but at the same time, they gave me courage. So I said yes. From that day on, I practiced every single day. I wrote my lines again and again. I stood in front of the mirror, forcing myself not to give up. But sometimes my voice trembled and my words stumbled, and I really wanted to quit. But I kept going, and little by little, my confidence began to grow. Finally, the big day arrived. I walked to the front of the room. All eyes turned toward me. My mind went blank like a piece of white paper. I opened my mouth, and the first sentence uttered out. Then I noticed something. A few people nodded, and instead of impatience, their faces showed kindness, interest, and even encouragement. Their small reaction gave me strength, and with every word I spoke, I saw more eyes brighten, more smiles appear. The fear didn't vanish in an instant, but line by line, it shrank, replaced by courage I didn't know that I had. For the first time, I wasn't afraid of speaking. I was connecting with people. And the winner of the fourth grade speech competition is... When the judges called my name, I was stunned. Me, the kid who used to stutter. I had just won first place. That day, I learned something important. I didn't win because I was perfect. I won because I was brave enough to tell my own story. And now, I want to leave you with this. Everyone has a voice. It may shake, it may stumble, but that voice carries our story, our truth, and our courage. So, if you've ever doubted yourself, remember my journey. If a kid who once stuttered can stand here today and tell his story with confidence, then you can too. Discover the power of your own voice. Thank you, everyone.
Good morning, everyone. If somebody asks you, what do you value the most in life, what would be your answer? A family? Friends? Education? A job? Money? Two things that are very important to me are freedom and equality. From my perspective, freedom is to be able to express your ideas regardless of who you are, as long as you won't sacrifice others for your own good, while still respecting others and not harming anyone. Equality means having the same rights and opportunities as others. I once lived in Los Angeles and was very impressed at how people from many cultures lived side by side. A Vietnamese restaurant stood next to a grocery store. A 5-minute walk away was Taco Bell. Drive a little further, and you'd find Costco, hot pot restaurants, Chinese supermarkets, and even Cantonese cuisine. It would be a great place to live in, a community filled with compassion toward others, regardless of your background. My parents are from Taiwan and Czechoslovakia, and that foundation deepens my understanding about freedom and equality. And I'm so lucky to have the chance to travel to many countries which revealed something more about freedom and equality. In Singapore, I saw a great multicultural society where people of all kinds live together. In Malaysia, I noticed the strong influence of religion on daily life, respecting the Muslims and other religions. While in Australia, I recognized how people tried to respect the Aboriginals by hanging their flag. But if there's a flag, why is there no council, state, or country for Aborigines? It reminds me, history shows us that the journey toward freedom and equality is long and difficult. Such as after the American Revolution, the U.S. was built on the idea of liberty and justice, but still allowed slavery and racism. Africans were once counted as only 3/5 of a person, and this injustice became one of the causes of the Civil War. Think about it. Would it be fun to not have the right to vote simply because of your skin color? Or be a slave just because of where you came from? In Taiwan, the freedom and equality that we have today is the result of people's desires and generations of sacrifice. Sometimes I still can't help questioning myself. Why do freedom and equality still seem to be taken for granted? But how do we cherish and protect our freedom and equality anyway? And do we truly achieve freedom and equality? Even though there still seems to be a long way to go, a lot of progress has already been made. However, if we don't cherish and protect our freedom and equality, we might lose it. I do believe we can live together harmoniously if we respect one another, value our differences, and practice genuine and compassionate fairness. Let's learn and work together. Create a better place to live in for everybody. And don't forget to respect nature too. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm contestant number 10. My topic is finding strength through life's challenges. Today, as I stand here, I reflect on what it truly means to be strong. Strength isn't about physical power or winning battles. It's about resilience. Through life's tough challenges, I learned my most valuable lessons. The strongest steel is forged in the hottest fire. Life doesn't always go the way we want. Sometimes a giant mountain suddenly appears right in front of us, blocking the path. We feel small, stuck, and even lost. To quit seems to be the easiest way out. But I've learned something important. If I just keep going, one small step at a time, I start to grow stronger than I ever imagined. I remember 2 years ago, I fell and broke my arm. Not only did it hurt so badly, but as a kid, it felt like the end of the world. No more playing, no more fun, and worst of all, a violin competition that I have been working so hard for was just around the corner. But my mother encouraged me not to give up. Believe it or not, we drove all the way to Miaoli to get a special cast that will let me play my violin, even with my injuries. We raced back to Taipei, arriving just in time for the competition. I thought the worst was finally over, until right before stepping on stage, I accidentally dropped my violin. It shattered into a million pieces, and so did my heart. But then I remembered the courage my parents had shown me. I quickly borrowed an adult-sized violin and went on stage. And in that moment, I realized it wasn't the instrument that mattered. It was the determination inside me. Strength isn't about being perfect. It means facing your problems, even when everything seems to be falling apart. Challenges at school have also played a big role in helping me grow. As a grade skipping student, I have to keep up with older classmates, manage double homework, and fit into a whole new environment. It definitely wasn't easy. But even when I couldn't control everything, I could control how I responded. Therefore, I asked questions when I didn't understand, and I accomplished much more than I could ever have done before. When life gives us lemons, we make lemonade. Last semester, life threw me another curveball. My mother had to have surgery because of a neck injury. At the same time, my father was already being treated for a brain tumor, had a terrible car accident. Both of my parents ended up in the hospital. Suddenly, I had to go overnight. I had to manage my time. I kept up with homework, I did the laundry, I even took care of my parents. I was actually exhausted. I just want to be carefree. But at that moment, my father said something I'll never forget. When you're willing to take responsibility, you become a leader. His words gave me the strength to push on. By the time my parents came home from the hospital, I had become more independent and more confident, ready to stand on my own. Just like Nietzsche once said, what doesn't kill us makes us even stronger. As long as we don't give up and we don't let fear stop us, every challenge can make us braver and stronger. Storm tests us, courage drives us. May we keep going with courage in our hearts and hope in every step. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm number 8. Today I would like to share my experience of Egypt and Taiwan. My mom and dad are from Egypt, so I'm Egyptian. When you heard Egypt, what do you think of? Pharaohs, pyramids, maybe even mummies? Well, that's my home. I lived there when I was little, but because of my dad's job, so we moved to Taiwan after first grade. In Egypt, we believe Allah is our only Lord. Some people think my life mysterious, especially when they see a hijab. We pray 5 times a day. When we heard the adhan, the call to prayer, we stop everything and pray. Can you imagine doing that in the middle of class in Taiwan? Here, I must watch the clock. When I forget, I suddenly jump up and dash out of the classroom to pray. Luckily, my teacher and classmates respect me and just smile. I like being Muslim in Egypt. People are friendly and welcoming, and the communities are full of life. School life in Egypt is a little different. The classes are often full. Do you know how full the classes are? About 70 to 100 students in one class. I was the class leader and often found myself shouting, "Quiet, please, quiet!" But not everyone will listen. Furthermore, bullying was another problem. I remember that I'd been locked in the bathroom. Some kids even threw rocks at classroom windows. Teachers work hard, but with so many kids, it's impossible to keep eyes on everyone. Ramadan is a holy month. We can't eat or drink from 3 a.m. to 6 p.m. In Egypt, it's easier, but in Taiwan, it's harder. Once a friend ate fried chicken next to me at lunch. I tried to ignore it. I can't control my heart and my mind, but not my stomach. The smell won, and my stomach went guru 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 so loudly that the whole class laughed. I was so embarrassed. School life in Taiwan is different. We have outdoor activities like climbing trees and gardening. We plant tomatoes, cucumbers, and sunflowers. By taking care of them, we learn to respect food, naturals, and mountains around us. Guess what? We have 30-minute break every day. Plenty of time to run, play, laugh, or even fight a little bit. Teachers guide us patiently. So now, I know the difference between bullying and just argument. We also have Multicultural Day.
Once, my mom, sister, and I introduced Egypt to the whole school. My mom even told everyone to say thank you in Arabic, shukran. But the best part was the rice pudding. Mom made sweet and salty pudding for everyone to enjoy. I can say that Egypt and Taiwan give me stories to tell and unique to experience to value. I love Egypt and Taiwan. Thank you for listening.
Hello, dear judges. I'm number 11. Today I'm going to tell you why reading is magical. Sometimes when I feel bored, I will venture to my room and take a book off the shelf. Then I will find the coziest armchair and settle myself in it. There I can immerse myself in the pages of my book. Every book is like an adventure to me because I always feel like I'm part of the characters in these books. In the books I read, I can do magic, travel around the world, and many things I can't do in real life. My favorite books are the Harry Potter series because, as J.K. Rowling once said, I do believe something very magical can happen when you read a good book. The reason I like the Harry Potter series is because the story in each book is very exciting and intriguing. In each book, I'm able to experience the characters' adventures and emotions. For example, in the third book, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, Harry found out that the escaped convict Sirius Black is actually his godfather when he got dragged into a haunted shack. This book is my favorite because it unearths lots of secrets from Harry's past and is a thrilling tale. Apart from the Harry Potter series, there are also other interesting books I love, like mystery books. A Murder Most Unladylike Mysteries are one of my favorites. It is about two detectives who solve mysteries at boarding school for girls in England. That book is very interesting and clever because the girls solve the cases in very smart ways and unearth a lot of shocking but helpful information. When I read those books, I felt like I was solving the mystery right beside them and I was a detective gathering evidence and clues too. In fact, that series was so inspiring that after reading it, I started a detective group at school with my friends, and we solved many missions of our own. The final books I want to introduce are the classics, which include Oliver Twist, Anne of Green Gables, Pride and Prejudice, The Little Women, A Christmas Carol, and many more. My favorite classic book is definitely The Little Women, which follows the lives of four March sisters, Meg, Jo, Beth, and Amy, who have many adventures and experiences as they slowly reach womanhood. I think this is an inspiring book with laughter, love, bravery, drama, and the sweetness of childhood, which I strongly recommend to everyone. When I read The Little Women, I will be able to clearly experience characters' emotions and therefore understand how they make decisions. So reading this book has helped me learn many new things and have a whole new perspective of thinking. These books I've introduced are also my favorites, and after it, I will inspire and delight you too. I also bring many of my treasure books to school and share my many adventures with my friends. These books have enlightened, taught, delighted, inspired, and intrigued me. They have also shown me the world belongs to those who read, which is what makes me think that reading is truly magical. Thank you for listening.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm number 13, and today I'm taking you on a journey into space. Attention, crew! This is Commander Grace speaking from the flight deck. Today we leave the safety of our launch pad and enter the vast unknown of space. Our mission? To explore the different environments in the solar system. Get ready to zoom past wild storms, secret hiding moons, and planets made of ice and rock. We're not tourists, we're explorers. So tighten your helmet, adjust your visor, and prepare for launch. In 3, 2, 1, blast off! We start with Mercury, a small, airless world where temperatures swing by hundreds of degrees between day and night. It's basically a space oven and a deep freezer rolled into one. If it's not hot, whew, it's cold. Brr. Very unlucky for me. The extreme weather is very bad for my allergies. Venus follows, hotter than Mercury. I don't know how I'm supposed to survive here because it traps heat due to its thick atmosphere. Its surface pressure would crush you flat, and the clouds are made of acid. As you zoom past, here is Mars, red and dusty, once had water flowing through its rivers and valleys. Olympus Mons on Mars is the tallest volcano in the solar system. Standing at about 22 kilometers high, nearly 3 times the height of Mount Everest. I would love to go there one day. Imagine being the first person to climb to the top of Olympus Mons. Next is the massive Jupiter, home to the Great Red Spot, a gigantic storm bigger than the Earth. It really stood out to me because of its moon Europa, where beneath its icy surface, there's likely a salty ocean where alien life exists. Can you believe it? There's a possibility that we can be friends with aliens. I would tell you more, but we need to move on to the last planet. Last, but not least, Neptune. Far out, deep blue, and wild. And personally, my favorite planet. Winds there blow faster than 2,000 kilometers per hour, and scientists believe diamonds actually rain down through its thick atmosphere, crushed into crystals by its intense pressure. If I lived there, I would be rich by now. Wait, what's that blue dot over there? No way. That tiny pea, pretty and blue, is the Earth. Earth is the only planet we can live on. You've heard it yourself. The other planets are unlivable. I've stood in Yellowstone, marveling at the Grand Prismatic Spring, its colorful layers unfolding like a masterpiece. I've climbed the trails of the Grand Canyon, followed its river, and touched rocks that reveal nearly 2 billion years of Earth's history. My point is, Earth is full of wonders, yet we don't protect it. Global warming has caused icebergs to melt. Pollution has created trash islands. And resource depletion causes everything to turn more expensive and could cause war. If we don't protect our planet, a few years later, it could be gone. Save our planet before it's too late. Commander Grace, signing off. Thank you for listening.
Hello everyone, I'm number 14, and today I'm going to talk about growing through failure. 59, just a number, right? Until you see it in your math test. I knew I was done for. Failure is a word that can make us feel frustrated, embarrassed, or even hopeless. But what if I told you that failure isn't the end? It's just the beginning. Every mistake, every setback, and every disappointment is actually an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and better than before. Think about Albert Einstein, one of the greatest scientific minds in history. You might assume he was always a genius, but that's not true. As a child, Einstein had difficulty with subjects outside of science, and his teachers even doubted his abilities. But did he give up? No! He embraced the challenges, kept learning, and eventually changed the world with his discoveries. He once said, someone who never made a mistake, never tried anything new. And now, let's talk about a famous athlete, Kobe Bryant. Yup, the basketball legend. You might know him for his championships, his amazing dunks, and his Mamba mentality. But guess what? Kobe missed over 14,000 shots in his career, and he even had games where he missed every single shot. But did he give up? No! He practiced before the sun came up, between harder than anyone else. And every time he fell, he came back stronger. And that's why he became one of the GOATs, the greatest of all time. I love swimming, but when I was little, I was scared to put my head underwater because I was afraid of choking. No matter how hard I tried, I just couldn't do it. But did I give up? No! I practiced again and again. And one day, I finally did it. Now, even public schools swim team, so don't be afraid to fail. Think about the first time you tried to ride a bike. You probably fell a few times, right? But did you give up? No! You kept trying. And soon, you were riding with a big smile. These challenges help us get stronger. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's just a step toward it. So let's keep trying, keep learning, and never be afraid to fail. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm number 15, and today I'm excited to share my funniest culture shocks after moving from Thailand to Taiwan. Have you ever done something totally normal, only to realize everyone was staring at you? That was me on my first day in Taiwan. I grew up in Thailand and moved here 1 year ago. On my first day of school, I confidently packed my bag, exactly 2:40 p.m., and walked to the door, just like I did back home. But something wasn't right. My classmates giggled. I looked around. I was the only one standing. My face turned bright red, and I wished I could disappear. I quickly sat back down, pretending nothing had happened. Then, my classmate leaned over and said, "Dude, we don't go home until 4 o'clock. Oops, I must have really wanted to go home. And that was just the beginning of my surprises. Back in Thailand, homework was easy. Just one quick worksheet done in 10 minutes. But in Taiwan, oh boy, homework felt endless. Chinese, English, math, science. And just when I thought I could finally relax, bam! Another test. Why didn't anyone warn me? Then came the lunchtime challenge. In Thailand, lunch was simple. We went to the school cafeteria to grab some food. I could eat and chat with my friends. After a quick bite, we ran off to play. But in Taiwan, so many rules. First, we had to line up quietly in front of our classroom. Then, we scooped our own food without spilling a single grain. After that, we waited until everyone was served, and the teacher said, "Bon appetit!" Finally, we had to finish everything on our plates, in complete silence. Just when I thought I could finally kick back and have some fun, someone shouted, "Go brush your teeth!" Goodbye, playtime. After an year of hard work, my life is much busier, but also way more organized. I'm no longer afraid of homework. My new rule? No TV, no games, until I finish everything. And for tests, I study early. No more last-minute panic. As for lunchtime, I still think the rules are strict, but I follow them. Now our class eats in perfect harmony, like a team of tiny monks, all in deep meditation. Moving to a new country can feel overwhelming. At first, everything seems strange, and you might feel out of place. But with great friends, a sprinkle of patience, and maybe some delicious school food, anywhere can feel like home. So if you ever stand up at the wrong time, get buried under homework, or struggle with lunchtime rules, don't panic. Just take a deep breath, smile, and enjoy the adventure. And who knows, maybe one day you'll have your own funny culture shocks to share. Thank you for listening.
Hello everyone, my name is Kayla. I'm number 16. Today, I'm going to talk about a special day in my life. Have you ever been completely lost, but somehow felt safe? Well, I have, and this is my story. It was a cloudless morning in Hong Kong. The gates of Disneyland yawned open like a dream. And music, all that music, spilled from hidden corners, as if the very air were humming with magic. The trees swayed. Yes, I swear they swayed to the tune. And there I was, 5 years old, clutching my mother's hand like it was my lifeline. My heart pounded with joy that felt way too big for my tiny chest. We arrived as expectant and excited tourists ready for adventure. Grandma and Grandpa and matching Mickey Mouse ears perched like crowns of joy. And my cousins were already arguing over who got to pick the first ride. And my dad, glorious and chaotic, awkward with the camera, kept trying to catch everyone's laughter. The air smelled like childhood. Warm popcorn, spun sugar, and dreams that came in every color. Our first stop was It's a Small World. The anthem stitched itself into the seams of the day. Then we went straight to Tomorrowland, where my dad, being brave but totally ridiculous, screamed louder than me on Space Mountain, though he bladed it on the wind. Sure, Dad. The park was a blur of joy, and everything was magical, until it happened. Near the castle, the Sleeping Beauty's castle, I let go of my mother's hand. Not out of fear, not out of defiance, but because Donald Duck paddled by, and I completely enchanted, followed, just for a moment, one blink, and I was alone. Strangers towered above me. Joyful music became noise. Wonder suddenly turned into weight. But still, I didn't cry. I stood, a statue of courage, recalling my mother's gentle voice. If you ever get lost, find someone with a badge. And I did. She knelt to me, a cast member with sparkly mini ears and kindness in her eyes. And I told her about Grandma's rainbow backpack. And like a spell, she led me back. There! My family! Faces frantic and searching, until my mom saw me. The hug that followed squeezed away the fear out of my bones. There was applause, laughter, and even a churro earned for bravery. That night, oh that night, I curled in my mother's lap as fireworks painted the sky above the castle. Light exploded like dreams, and I whispered, "This was the best day ever." Not in spite of being lost, but I have never felt so found. Later, beneath the lullaby sky, Dad knelt once more and gave me a plush Donald Duck. "You earned this today," he said. I held it tight, a small, warm echo of magic. Thank you.
Hello! Imagine one day you wake up, stretch, head to the bathroom, look in the mirror, and, huh? Who's that? That's not you. That's someone else. I've thought about this, and I have a good imagination. Let me tell you what I dreamt of. The night before, I brushed my teeth and went to bed, like always. The morning was a different story. I woke up and my short, spiky hair was now long and wavy. My body was strange. Everything was different. Huh? I wasn't a young boy anymore. I was a young girl. Honey, don't forget, it's your grandma's birthday dinner. Put on your new dress and shoes. Honey? Dress? What's going on? My mom never calls me honey, and why would I have a dress? This was some strange dream. I got dressed and tried to go downstairs. The dress was fine, but the shoes really hurt my feet. It felt like I would fall at any moment. I stayed close to the wall and carefully went downstairs. My mom saw me and looked puzzled. Why didn't you comb your hair? What about makeup? Why are you so messy?
Comb my hair? I don't even own a comb. My fingers have always been enough. Makeup? I have no idea. When we got to the restaurant, my grandma hugged me. But then she asked, "Have you gained some weight? A girl needs to watch what she eats." Nobody has ever called me fat before. Nobody's ever cared. Dinner was yummy though. The next day, I woke up, went to the mirror, and I was still a girl. School was odd. At first, Oliver was talking about his weekend. He tells the same boring story every Monday. Now, it was my turn. I started talking about my crazy weekend. Immediately, Lynn interrupted. Why wasn't he letting me talk? In English, Mr. Bragg spilled his water and everybody laughed. But Mr. Bragg looked at me and said I wasn't very polite. Huh? Maybe I laughed, but lots of boys laughed louder. Why did I get in trouble? Finally, it was recess. I tried to join the basketball game, but was pushed away. What gives? Was I being treated differently because I was a girl? I hope not, but maybe. Thank you.